Again. Sorry, I didn't force you to come here.
There's cakes today, Jurgen.
Yeah, that's over there.
Chocolate cakes today.
Somebody's birthday?
No, Tuesday.
Easter cake. On Easter Monday you do that, and then
We do now.
oh, great. Thank you very much.
No
Happy
problem.
Easter.
Help yourself on the way out.
On Easter Monday. We do that.
Typical Rigi's birthday today.
Shall we start?
Yeah.
Hello, Jurgen. Thank you again for this. If you were trying to explain Liverpool against Manchester United as a competition, as a rivalry, as whatever it might be to someone who had never been to a Premier League game before, how would you do that?
Well, I'm the wrong person probably to do that
This is
because
the 13th time I think that you've been involved in this meeting, so you'll know better than them. The 16th time, actually.
let me say it like this: if when the moment when they do the fixture list, it's one of the first looks you have. When is that? Which time around? These kind of things. Obviously, it's slightly different in England because you don't know you get the list and then you know in the first half of the season, but the second half you have no idea because it could be anywhere. It's different in other countries. You might know or not because it's always the same row of games. If you play in the third match day in the first part of the season, you play in the third match day of the second part of the season against the same opponent. But you have a look, and you have a look how who you play around, stuff like this. Is there possibly Champions League around? These kind of things. You want to know that how much time do you have to prepare? It's a big game. It's a massive game. The two biggest clubs in the world, I would say. Maybe in Spain too, will say it's differently, but two of the biggest clubs in the world for sure face each other. Massive history around, big fights in the past, big fights since I'm here. We lost strange games against United. Took a while until we could win there. All these kind of things. Always we had to learn to deal with it. Some players had to learn to deal with it because of how much it means to them. But we are okay. That's now the 13th time, and we should have learned meanwhile. Had enough time to do that, and this time it's an incredibly important game again for both teams, and that says it all. So both teams are fighting for being in the Champions League next year or more. We will see, and that's a tough one. And United is obviously in a situation. They won the last game. Hurt now a little bit. Was not overly happy with the performance, but the result and the results from other games open the door again for the Champions League, and that's the Man United people face now. They will go for it, and we have to make sure that if they want to go qualify for Champions League, they have to do it without our points. But between now and then, intense 90 minutes, 95 probably, will have to be played.
I know your relationship with Ralf Rangnick goes back quite a good few years to sort of before you became the manager at Mainz. I think you'd had a conversation, I think you've mentioned those before. But this is the first time that you've gone face-to-face as managers outside of Germany. So I'm just wondering where your relationship is with him now and how you feel about...
On hold. And we didn't have contact since he's at United. I think that's just due to respect. I respect his job, he respects my job. So
how you feel about this game as such against Rangnick?
I cannot make a Rangnick or Rangnick Klopp game of it. I don't want to. I respect him for everything what he did during his career. To be honest, he did incredible jobs wherever he was. Took a difficult one at Man United. Obviously, that's clear. Big expectations, these kind of things. Big expectations. Actually, no time to get there because in our business it's like this. But you can see the changes he made, the parts he improved, and that's it pretty much. So I don't. When we now prepared the United game, I didn't think about Ralf in that moment because you watch the games and then you prepare for this team, and it's not Ralf or me. It's a very important football game, very, very important football game, but the managers probably will not score the decisive goal.
So just finally then, if I may, Mo, we know isn't on a great run of goal-scoring form, shall we say, at the moment, but he does have a rich vein of form whenever he faces Manchester United. Could that be important, maybe, if mentally, if nothing else, for him going into this one?
It's a completely normal spell when Mo is going through. We spoke about all the physical demands he faced in the last few months, and so it's completely normal. I like the game against City a lot, so I played a really good football game. So it's only a question of time when he will score as well. So unlucky in these little moments. We all know if you don't have luck as a striker, you don't even try better. So it was close enough now for a couple of times, and the moment will definitely come. And I'm really happy with the form he showed last week or a few days ago.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it the other day as well, but when you've got a top player who's having a bit of a lean spell like Mo, do you do anything differently with him? Do you speak to him? Do you need to pick him up at all?
No, not really. That depends on how we have. I see him more often in training than I see him in games, and we play our 3 days, so you can see that you have a look at it, and I have to make a decision if there's a need for a talk or not. And we had plenty of talks over the time we worked now together, but in this specific moment, there's no need for it. Where we talk, but not about the situation, what you make of it. So we talk about the normal stuff, what he has to do in the game, and what the game plan is, and all these kind of things, and where we try to expose the opponent and all these kind of things. So no, but that's completely individual to all players.
And as a group, you've been pretty good at refocusing after big moments. You had that euphoria of getting through a semi-final at the weekend. The fact that it's Manchester United to come, does that make it even easier just to get the mindset back to Premier League?
Whatever would have happened 3 days ago, to be concentrated and focused on the Man United game will always be possible. So yes, what makes it easier, I don't know. Whatever would have happened, this Man United game, and it's for us a massive one, and focus will not be our problem tomorrow.
Julia?
I just sort of to pick up on that really, the fact that how much time have you had on the training ground since Saturday? The smile there against City, but also that you will have before this game against United. And you talked about that focus of mind, but the fact you're on this intense run against bigger opposition right now, does it make it that little bit easier?
What? That we cannot train?
No, I want the mind. I suppose the mindset is more. You do the training, but how much training do you need to do because of the opposition that you're facing?
Our situation is pretty much now already since early January always the same. There was one international break in, I think, but apart from that, it was always the same. You have so you play on Saturday, Sunday morning session with the boys who didn't play, kind of normal session. Other boys recover. Today's Monday, tomorrow we play. So means we have exactly this session today. This session will not last forever. This session will not have 11v11 elements where you go in challenges. It's just explaining the difference between the two games, the last one and this one, because you have it in your mind. What can we use from that? What do we have to ignore from that? All these kind of things. It's really more the longest part. Again, today we'll be sitting here in this room and having a video meeting just to show what are they doing and what are they allowed to do against us, these kind of things. So it does make it easy or whatever. I would prefer always to have time to properly recover and then time to prepare properly, but that's wishful thinking. It will never happen again. So as long as you are successful, you don't have the time. And that's why it's pretty demanding for the players that you always like. You're not celebrating now. If you won a semi-final or qualified for the final, but of course it's on the way home. It's you are literally flying, not only sitting in a plane, and that's great. But the boys wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be in the situation we are in if they would not be ready always to cut off last game, prepare next game as good as you somehow can, and then let's play it as good as you can. And but it's actually So for 3-4 teams in the league, it's exactly the same. For some others, they have obviously lesser games and they can prepare longer. This week now it was pretty similar for United. Same, I think it was Saturday as well against Norwich. And now they didn't have more time, and they cannot use more time. You cannot do anything in training in that time. It's clear.
Chris? Jurgen, the 5-0 win at Old Trafford was one of the last games for United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Just wondering, what changes in United have you noticed under Ralf Rangnick to the latter time of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign?
Actually, nothing I want to talk about, really. Obviously, I think so. Ralf try to organize the team. That's how it is. Bring it in a clear structure with the squad you have. That's what he did. And United played some really, really good games. But because it's United, even when you win the games, it's but here's a little bit that's still not there and stuff like this. So it's difficult to gain some momentum. I can imagine. And so that's it. But we concede lesser goals for sure. And they dropped some points. If you put them on the points tally, then you see all of a sudden they are fourth in the table, and if you are fourth in the Premier League, means you are a quality side, because with all the opponents you have, it's madness how consistent you have to be to get somehow close to that area. You see Tottenham flying in the moment and get a little drop here, but the quality they have is incredible. Chelsea is so strong, and we are all still fighting for getting qualified for the Champions League next year. And if you did that, from that moment on, you can think about something else. But United is in the group as well, and that says a lot about the quality they have. And
I just wondered as well, the midfield three rightly got a lot of praise from their performances on Saturday. But given the options that you have in midfield, how difficult is it to select your three in midfield when the options that you'll be leaving out as well?
Yeah, in our situation it's clear. There were some players on the squad for the weekend, for example, and will not be in the squad for tomorrow. Who are in a really good shape. Really, really, really good. So nobody that I wouldn't tell here, obviously, would say it's easy for us to leave him out. But the boys behave. But if we achieve anything this year, whatever it will be, it's because of how all the boys deal with the situation. And that means as well the boys who are not in the squad from time to time, because they keep still the training quality extremely high level. Really, all credit to them. It's absolutely outstanding. So now making decisions, but I have to do something. I don't run, obviously, on the pitch, and I don't score goals. I don't defend, all these kind of things. So I have to do something, and decision making is one of the things I have to do, and that's all about. You try to figure out how it is. You try to what is best possible formation, and you have to think about intensity in the past. Who played how often, all these kind of things. We didn't have that situation too often. Usually in that part of the season, we are already on three wheels and try to get somehow through. So hopefully we have to make this decision until the end of the season.
Thank you.
Okay, last question, Carl, please.
Sadio, great game on Saturday. I think he scored 4 goals, 4 games now. I'm just wondering how maybe the added competition he got from Luis Diaz's arrival in January, which would be seen as his position, how much maybe that's influenced or had an effect on his performances or the way he's played, and that role through the middle, is that something he can do longer term for you?
I know Sadio since nearly 6 years. As far as I know him, he never needed any kind of competition to try to be the best version of himself. Played for a long time, pretty much all games for us, and then he was fit and performed on incredibly high level consistently. That's it. Bringing Luis, I'm not sure that affected that part of his game. I don't know. That was not the reason for bringing Luis. And playing the center obviously suits Sadio as well. Very well as well. So he played for us, scored incredible goals and so important goals for us from the left wing. But he can play the center as well. And we saw that again. But Sadio as well had some physical struggles since he came back. It's not that he could not use. That's when the boy doesn't feel it. Well, Sadio didn't feel it, but we could see that he cannot use his immense physicality just like this week in, week out, or all 3 days. That was the problem, and I really felt before the game already against City. Okay, that looks like Sadio physically. And that's it, and that's why he could play the game we played. Very important. It was super difficult to defend and very helpful and incredibly important in our defending, because the goal he scored the first one, his first goal, you only can score if you try to get there, and he did that. And you only do this run if you feel fresh enough to do it. These kind of things, this all works together pretty much. No, I don't think that Luis now reason that Sadio scored 4 goals, but somehow maybe as well because Luis obviously can keep a last line pretty busy, and that opens up always gaps for other players.
Okay, we'll go to the embargo section now. So this section is embargoed until 10:30 p.m.